Trump's approval rating is historically horrendous right now. Like, we have not seen numbers this bad in nearly 100 years. And I'm going to walk you through all the details here because the deeper you dig, the worse it gets for him. And I'm not using numbers from some biased institution. I'm using Gallup, who has historically been very unbiased. So right now, Trump's approval rating is 37%, which is bad, but the deeper we dig, the worse it gets. So let's dig deeper. The last time Trump's numbers were this bad was right after January 6th, and it really wasn't that much worse. 34%, 37%, it's all within the margin of error. And I know a lot of you are thinking 37%, well, that's still a pretty big number. Hold on a second. When you break down the numbers by party, that is when you start to see Trump's serious problem. As expected, Republicans held pretty firm. He's lost 2% support since he was inaugurated. Democrats, he's lost 4% support from 6 to 2. But with independents, that's where he's hemorrhaged support from 46% approval when he was inaugurated to 29 today. Trump literally had a better approval rating with independents after January 6th than he does right now. And remember when I said Trump's numbers were historically bad? Take a look at this. In the history of this metric, there has not been a president at this point in their term with a worse approval rating than Donald Trump in his second term. The only competitors to this number were Donald Trump's first term and Richard Nixon. And the most important thing is that this number is catastrophically bad for Republicans. Trump never has to run again, but Republicans do. And they will never win when their president has an approval rating this low, especially when independents are polling him under 30%. The hard truth for Republicans is they will never win an election if their president is getting about 1 in 4 support from independents. So either Trump has to aggressively change course or this is going to be the end for them.
27 Republicans in Congress have announced that they're retiring or leaving Congress. Now, this is a record for any one party in the history of the United States Congress. Never before have 27 members of one party announced that they are leaving at the end of their 2 years. They're jumping ship. They see that they're going to lose the midterms. They see that they've supported very unpopular policies, and they don't want the heat that the American public is starting to bring. And yes, Democrats have a number of people retiring also. It's 10 or 12, but it's all older individuals in Congress that are retiring to make way for new, fresh ideas with younger Democrats, which is only going to strengthen the Democrat support within Congress. So 27 Republicans are leaving, which is likely going to guarantee the House is flipping, and they're jumping ship because they understand the policies that Republicans have supported for 50 years now are now deeply unpopular with the American public, and they want to get away from it and distance themselves in any way that they can.
The stupidity really knows no bounds with this administration. See, the Deputy Attorney General just admitted that multiple Republicans are in the JE files. They're on the list. How do we know this? Oh, well, he was caught on a hot mic earlier today, unbeknownst to himself, otherwise he wouldn't have said it, where he admitted they're only going to redact the Republican names, not names, from the list in the files. Leave the Democratic ones, try and pull the wool over our eyes, you see? And you just admitted that not only is your Cheeto Jesus on there, which we already knew, come on, you also potentially confirmed what Ms. Maxwell may have been alluding to in her interview. I'm not sure if you recall, when those transcripts were released, she mentioned that potentially members of the cabinet could be involved. Oh, so you're going to take their names out. But you're going to leave, I assume, Bill Clinton in there, the Democrats. What about royalty? What are we doing with Prince Andrew, Duke of York? Is he in or is he out? We don't know. I mean, we know he's in the list, he's in the files. But are you going to leave him or not? Because he's a foreign figure. So where does he fall on this Democrat-Republican split? I'd really love to know.
Not all Republicans are the same. I'm a conservative, but not a Trump supporter. It's too late for that, babes. One thing's for damn sure, y'all certainly didn't vote for Kamala Harris, so when are you going to admit your role in the situation we now find ourselves in? If you're a registered Republican that did vote for Kamala Harris, you need to be louder. I'm not hearing from any of y'all at all. I frankly don't care if you identify as a Trump supporter or if you identify as MAGA. You voted for Donald Trump. That means moving forward, you are an accessory to every crisis created by the Trump administration, whether you like it or not. Any conservative that doesn't identify as a Trump supporter but still couldn't stomach the idea of voting for anybody but Donald Trump does not want us associating them with the people that stormed the Capitol, does not want to associate us with the people that attend those rallies. But you know what? Y'all are exactly the same. Y'all are exactly the same. Nobody cares if you identify as a Trump supporter because you were so blinded by your contempt of the brown and black students and poor students and disabled students in your child's public school classroom. You were willing to vote away your own child's right to a free and appropriate public school education. Nobody really cares that now you're seeing the writing on the wall and you're not a Trump supporter. Nobody really cares if you just had to hold your nose and vote for Donald Trump because you couldn't see a better option in Kamala Harris. Nobody cares. Now y'all are sitting on this app every day saying, hey, this is not a left or right issue. This is an up or down issue. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. But you know what? You're about a day late and $1 short on that because you're the one who voted for the billionaire that doesn't even care that you exist. So what are we supposed to do now? Are we just supposed to forget? Are we just supposed to forget that you voted for Donald Trump? Because at the end of the day, y'all still believe that the kids in our public school classrooms that were born here to undocumented parents don't deserve to be here, that they need to be shipped away. Y'all still believe that. So what am I supposed to do with the information that you just don't like Donald Trump anymore? You're not on my team. You're not an ally to my cause. You still felt as though Donald Trump was a better option than Kamala Harris. And I'm not going to forget that. I'm not going to let you forget that either.
Hello everyone, it's Anthony. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's amazing having you here, and today let's watch how Republicans' ratings are tanking all over the country. Considering only states which announce party affiliation, Democrats have 44 million registered Americans. Republicans have that 7 million. Now, let me put this into perspective. When we consider 77 million Americans who voted for Donald Trump, only 49% are Maga Americans. That means we have only 37.8 million staunch Republicans in this country. Now, all the rest of the country is either Democrats or independents or swing votes, of which Trump is not doing well with them.
So I just got off the phone with my son, and I am a mother of 2 children in their 30s. My daughter's almost 40, my son is middle 30s, and my son has voted for this man all 3 times. And I will tell you, it's been a point of contention, but we've been able to have reasonable debates. So my son called me today because he had his come to Jesus moment, and he's woken up. He was afraid to talk to me about it because every time we talk, it was about us having conversations. And he doesn't always agree with all my viewpoints. And I told him in today's call, it was never about you and I having exactly the same ideologies, exactly the same thoughts on every point. I just wanted you to see that this man was not in our best interest. Anyways, we had a very long conversation, and you want to know what his come to Jesus moment was, because I'm sure that that's really going to be important to a lot of you, what the breaking point was. It actually was CK's memorial. It was when he said that he hated his enemies, that he could not forgive any of his enemies, and that he made the entire memorial all about the Republican Party instead of about a human losing his life. That was my son's moment, that he realized that this man is very selfish, and that he was probably, plus he has an autistic son, and that was the secondary thing. There's been a couple things over the last month that woke him up, but finally I have my son back, because it's been 10 years of my son thinking that I'm the nutty one, and now he's realizing that he was incorrect, and he understands, after we discuss things, how he could have fallen for it. But I think people are going to start waking up now. It's really hard. It was really hard for me to have a son who was lost in this, but now I have him back, and I can be thankful for that.
Remember when Republicans would say, we can't talk about being gay in school? No, because how am I supposed to have that conversation with my kids? Well, now that Trump has greenlit ICE agents arresting kids at school, how about that conversation? Seems like a difficult conversation. Mom, where did Timmy go? He was forcibly removed from the classroom by a guy with an M16 and I haven't seen him in a week. Where's Timmy? Do you want to have the conversation that he was probably handcuffed, separated from his parents, taken to a military plane, and then flown to a country he probably knows absolutely nothing about? Is that the conversation you'd prefer to have? Seems a lot harder than having a conversation about the general concept of what it means to be gay. But no, let's make a bunch of legislation banning that conversation, but then we'll greenlight a bunch of military operatives to go into the class and forcibly remove their classmates. Those are some great values.
These Republicans in Arizona are finding out the hard way. They spent nearly $200 million of taxpayer money on a border wall made of shipping containers. And now they're asking for a $744 million federal bailout. In 2022, the Arizona legislature, led by Republicans and then Governor Doug Ducey, authorized $335 million for the wall project. They stacked shipping containers through federal and tribal land, illegally. A federal judge ordered the wall be torn down. The best part for Arizona taxpayers? The state had already spent $95 million to build it, then spent another $66 to $76 million just to remove it, store the containers, and clean up the mess. Ultimately, the state spent more than $200 million of that money for nothing. That's directly from state records, too. Now Republicans are asking Trump's DHS for reimbursement, even though Governor Katie Hobbs already made the same request, for slightly more, and was ignored. In their letter, GOP leaders praised Trump and claimed Arizona was just following his vision, even though the wall was never legal to begin with. When is anything they've been doing legal? They say the money will be used to give tax relief, but surprise, surprise, offer no real plan. So to recap, they built an illegal wall, got sued, tore it down, burned $200 million, and now they want taxpayers to pay for it. This is just one of the many reasons why you don't vote for Republicans. They love to waste your money.
Well, look at that. We just found out that the U.S. birth rate has dropped to a record low. You know, Republicans are going to make hay out of this and say, this is why we need to stop abortions even more, because we need those babies, because we need the workers. We need more workers. I want to suggest an opposing theory to the Republicans who are inevitably going to say this. And it's not rocket science, but I doubt it's really occurred to a single Republican, so I'm just going to lay it out for you. The birth rate is plummeting because people don't want to have children in this country. And the reason that many of us don't want to have children in this country anymore is because of Republicans' policies that make this country unlivable. We don't want to be impregnated by people that we did not choose pregnancy with and then be forced to bear their children. And we don't want to see our daughters have that experience either. We know that pregnancy in this country is not safe because we can't get medical treatment when we are pregnant. And so we don't want to have children. We know our children are not safe once they are born because you will not protect them from things like assault weapons, which every other country in the world protects their children from. You will not feed our hungry children. You deny things like the child tax credit extension. You will not give us paid family leave. You will not address the climate crisis. And you lie and say it's not happening. That threatens our children's future, so why would we have more? You will not support a single policy that helps children, and therefore, let's just say this isn't an environment that is conducive to baby making. So I have an idea. If Republicans really want to see the birth rate go up in our country, I can tell them exactly how that will happen immediately, and I mean it. Every single one of you should resign from office. Watch for the baby boom that will occur.
The Republican Party is anti-American. It has devolved into a party that represents the opposite of American values. Republicans dislike the American family unit. Republicans in Congress refuse to end the tariffs that would help Americans afford raising children. The budget they passed in July cuts food assistance for children and their families. They're currently working to shut down the government so that they can avoid providing health care to American families. Most Americans just want to raise their families and mind their own business. Republicans don't want you to do either of those things. Republicans are soft on crime. They're letting Trump use federal law enforcement to enact his own petty, idiotic political vengeance and focus on nonsense deportation policies. Meanwhile, we aren't prosecuting real criminals. Police are too busy protecting ICE agents who can't outrun a sandwich. And the Republicans' budget bill defunds local police initiatives. Republicans in Congress don't believe in hard work. They're lazy. They're on yet another recess right now, despite the fact that they were on recess for the entirety of August. They've let the administration fill the government with idiots with no qualifications. Most Americans want to work hard, develop their skills, be successful. Republicans don't believe in any of that. They believe in making friends with rich people so that you can cheat and you don't have to be smart or good at your job. And Republicans are ashamed of America. Some of the best parts about America are the people who are willing to confront our mistakes, however slowly and incompletely, and fight for justice. Instead of doing any of that hard work, because again, they don't believe in hard work and celebrating the things that most Americans find interesting and valuable and something to be proud of about our country, Republicans just want to erase it entirely because they don't like it. They don't like America. The only thing the Republican Party cares about right now is their own personal political ambitions and enriching themselves and their donors. They don't represent family values. They don't represent American values. They don't represent any values. They represent Donald Trump.
We're taking our country back from the crazy MAGA lunatics who are destroying this country. This flag does not belong to them. We're taking our flag back. This flag belongs to the American people that love this country, love what it represents, and loves the people within it. And that is not MAGA. MAGA can have their Confederate flags, they can have their Trump flags, they can have their MAGA flags. They cannot have our country's flag. It does not belong to them. They are traitors. If you want one, go and get it on the TikTok shop. I encourage everyone to go and get one. This flag is available on the TikTok shop. I encourage everyone to go and get one. Fly it at the protests. It's so important for people to see that it is American people fighting for this. I understand that everybody has been flying Mexican flags. You know, it's about heritage. It's about saying that they are welcome here and that they belong here as well. But I think it's important that we have this flag at every single protest, especially for when police become violent. That way, like, it's not going to look good if police are attacking someone carrying this. So go and get one, hang it up at your house, wear it at your protests. I think it's really important. This flag belongs to us. We love our country, and it's time that everyone knows it. And like my shirt says, resist like it's 1938 Germany. Don't stop fighting.
We are slowly taking our country back. So everyone, thank you for watching this video to the end. It's amazing having you here. So let's make an analysis. So Trump's policies, which have ensured tax cuts for billionaires who don't even need them, so that they can buy new private jets, expand their companies overseas, you know what I mean, at the expense of free healthcare, free school lunches for our kids in low-income neighborhoods, increasing more funding to our infrastructure and green energy, which Republicans claim that we are on a spending spree. In short, creating more employment for our youth and ensuring that Americans don't pay triple for their healthcare covers is no longer a priority for this government. Trump is sending billions to Argentina, Israel, Lebanon, Egypt. Billions. These are countries which have free healthcare and free housing. And when I demand the same, my government tells me to get up and work. Yes, I'm working. But why can't I enjoy such privileges? We can all agree that Republicans are better with the economy. They are better than us Democrats. That's why 95% of the poorest counties are Republican. 8 out of 10 poorest states are red states. And that's just good business. Even take Trump's tariffs, for example. Most economists argue that these tariffs will cost each household between $3,000 to $4,000 a year. I literally want that money to spend on my rent and groceries. But oh, China is paying the tariffs. Oh, I forgot. China is paying the tariffs. Republicans are struggling with ratings, and it will be statistically impossible for them to win the midterms. We are having silent layoffs. People with disabilities and older people are struggling in these red states to get quality healthcare. And Trump promised not to touch Medicare and Medicaid. Don't forget that. So, to all my viewers, let me give you an assignment. Whenever there are these town halls by your members of Congress in these local town halls, make sure that your voice is heard. So, guys, until next video, thank you for your attention to this matter.